when he saw his kid there, but so are Steelers fans. It's the Fowler Files with Jeremy Fowler now. And Jeremy, TJ Watt, he's the topic of conversation here. He continues to want more money, but as we all know, more money, more problems. So what specifically is holding up a new contract?
Well, people have told you around the league, Scooby, believe that it's guaranteed money, it's term length. A lot of the details that get sticky this time of year, especially as you're leading up to training camp. And I talked to somebody with the team who said, look, these are complicated deals to do, but we are working on it. We want TJ Watt here. So there's not a lot of traction right now as far as a potential trade, although there would certainly be a lot of interest if the Steelers would tap into that. But this is a situation where he's probably going to be the highest paid edge rusher in the league when this is all said and done. It just depends on when the Steelers can do it. Typically, they like to do their deals either around training camp or leading into week 1. So this is far from over.
Yeah, so continue to wait on that, Steelers fans. But within that division is another pass rusher hoping to get paid. Bengals all-pro rusher Trey Hendrickson, and during voluntary workouts, he said it's starting to get personal with the way that they were talking over his contract. I mean, America, it was getting messy, but there is some good news here. What is it?
So it's been a little sticky for sure, like you said, but they have resumed talks in recent weeks. They've been in communication. That is the good sign. It has not led to a deal as of yet, but Cincinnati's plan all along has been to sign and extend their 3 top stars, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Trey Hendrickson. They got the 2 done. They know they need this guy. 17.5 sacks. He was carrying that defense at times last year. It's just, this is a process with a team that doesn't give a lot of guaranteed money beyond year 1 typically, or how they structure their signing bonuses. He wants more long-term security. This is not a year-to-year proposition for him. He's 30 years old, yes, but he feels like he's earned big-time money on a multi-year extension. So we'll see what they can find. And it's a middle ground that they hope to find. If not, that he is dug in. I mean, he is prepared to miss time here.
Yeah, it seems like every single offseason we're having some type of contract issues out of Cincinnati. But let's stay with the pass rusher theme here. Michael Parsons, he's due for a new deal. Cowboy fans are sitting there wondering, when is that going to get done?
Yeah, so this is kind of a relaxed situation. You know, when I talk to people involved, they're like, look, it's a lull in the summer right now. Not a lot going on. People are on vacation. Team officials are out on the beach somewhere. Once they reconvene for training camp, Dallas will probably lock in on this a little bit more. Typically, they do their deals late in the calendar, you know, late August, early September. We've seen that with CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, some of their other big deals. They are dedicated to doing this, though, and he's almost a separate situation than those other 2 guys we just talked about, because they're in their 30s, they're going on their 3rd contract. This guy's right in his prime, mid-20s, dangerous player, so he's going to get a massive number. It just depends on when they do it. Shouldn't be a problem. The Cowboys got a lot to spend here. They also got Tyler Smith, one of the top guards in the NFL, who's eligible for an extension as well.
Yeah, good for the Cowboys. They always got big money. Everything's bigger in Texas. And we know in a pass-happy league with talented quarterbacks, you need these guys. Parsons, Watt, and Hendrickson combined for 41 sacks last season. If your team won't sign them, someone else will. Jeremy, thank you.
Thanks, Scooby.
NFL training camps open in about 2.5 weeks. Rookies will report before then, and it all can't come soon enough. Panthers QB Bryce Young will turn 24 years old right around the time Carolina opens camp. Is this the year the former #1 pick takes a big step? 7 touchdowns, no interceptions in the last 3 games of 2024 for Young. Emory Hunt now joins us, ready to pop off some NFL predictions. Emory, year 2 with Dave Canales. The Panthers drafted Ted McMillan in the 1st round. Is Bryce Young ready to boom, or will that bust tag stay attached to him?
He is ready to boom, Chris. And what I love about what Bryce Young did last year had nothing to do with the statistics. It was all about the eye test and how he played in the games when he returned from being benched. You talk about 3-1 in overtime matchups, 4 game-winning drives. So he started to play the situational football game perfectly. And when you combine what you just talked about, Ted McMillan coming in, they also bring in Jimmy Horn Jr. as another rookie. Jalen Coker returns as a guy that stood out last year as an undrafted free agent, along with Xavier Legette. You look at how they played in those games, some of those losses, they pushed Kansas City to the brink. We all saw the drop Legette had against Philadelphia. So this team wasn't that far off. And I feel like when you have an improved offensive line and having all of these weapons out there on the offense side of football, the offense isn't the question, it's about the defense. So for that matter, I do like Bryce Young to boom and head this team into the NFC West I want to say NFC South title game, so to speak, against Atlanta and or Tampa Bay. It's a good football team.
You'll lead me right into the next one here. Speaking of Atlanta, the Falcons had a lot of people scratching their heads when they drafted Michael Penix Jr. after giving big money to Kirk Cousins. They look smart now. Penix is the man moving forward in Atlanta. So are we going boom goes the dynamite or bust a bus?
I say boom goes that do-rag that he wears all the time. But when you look at Michael Penix and how he plays, again, take the numbers away from the situation and look at how he played in these ball games. Talking about those overtime games against Washington, against Carolina. This is a good football player, and you saw the offense look significantly better when he was in the lineup. Now, when you add in the fact that they've gotten better in the backfield, adding another running back, Jayden Corbin, who led the UFL in rushing, along with what they already have in tow at wide receiver, this defense got better in the draft. So now the offense won't be an anchor like it was last year under Kirk Cousins. It'll be in a position where they can lead from the front. So I like Michael Penix to boom this year and put up some phenomenal numbers for the Falcons.
All right, another first-round pick from last year. Minnesota's all in on J.J. McCarthy. Sam Darnold leaves in free agency. The Vikings apparently rebuffed Aaron Rodgers' interest, and so the former Michigan quarterback gets the keys. Emery, is McCarthy ready to continue the trend of QBs thriving under Kevin O'Connell?
Not this year, Chris. I say bust for this year. He stepped into a tough situation in terms of what they did last year. You won 14 games last year, and you jettisoned the quarterback because you was going to play J.J. McCarthy to start the season. You had a great year from Sam Darnold, and now with McCarthy going in, you're like, okay, well, we could just plug you in, and you're going to step off the bus right away and be ready to go right away. Well, that's tough for this guy to do because he's coming off of an injury, so we don't know enough yet about J.J. McCarthy. He's talented. The small sample size we saw was very solid in that preseason game, but how will he do week in, week out when teams are game planning for him? And we have to see what it looks like first. I'm going to say bust right now because the expectations are supremely high for a guy that is essentially unproven.
Yeah, look at the numbers there, what he did his last two seasons at Michigan before showing some flashes in the preseason last year prior to the injury. Javonte Williams, Emery, right in your wheelhouse here, running the rock in Dallas after 4 years in Denver. His production, though, has really fallen off since that rookie season. He's the lead back now, though, for the Cowboys. Is he enough to improve the 27th ranked rushing offense from a year ago?
I'm still going to say bust here, Chris, and I feel bad for Williams because he came in as such a young back with a lot of explosiveness, but the injury kind of zapped some of that explosiveness away. And when you look at the last 2 years, 3.6 yards a carry, 3.7 yards a carry, those numbers tell you a lot about a running back's explosiveness and what he is seeing and ultimately his way to get there. And I think because of those 2 years of sub 4 yards a carry, when he was, coming in as spot guy or trying to start the leadoff role, in a situation now he's with the Cowboys, he's going to have to fend off some of these talented backs that they have. And I think that's going to be the case for him not being the guy that they thought they were going to get when they signed him. So I'm going to go bust here for Williams.
And when we move over to defense now, the Bills needed some pass rush help this offseason. Buffalo signed former Chargers Pro Bowler Joey Bosa. When he booms, it's big, but when he busts, injuries are mostly to blame. Is Buffalo in for a big ROI on Bosa this season, Emery?
Here's the good news, Chris. When Bosa plays 16 games, he has double-digit sacks. Here's the problem. He hasn't played 16 games since 2021. And so I don't know if we're going to get a full season for Joey Bosa, and that's the problem that I feel like you have to go bust here, because if you're expecting him to be a significant part of the defense, then you're just setting yourself up for failure. If you're expecting him to be a piece of the rotation, then he stays out there for 16 weeks or 17 weeks now with the extra game, then awesome, cool, great, but we don't know. So because of his injury history and inability to finish a full season healthy, heck, he's already banged up going into this OTA minicamp season, right? So I would say bust here, and now hopefully he stays out there for a full season.
And finally, Emery, in Arizona, a little crowded at cornerback. Cardinals drafted Will Johnson out of Michigan, but Sean Murphy-Bunting is out for the season with a knee injury, so the door should be ajar for last year's second-round pick Max Melton to steal some snaps, if not maybe even a starting role. And so who better to ask about a Jersey guy than a guy in Jersey, boom or bust, on that Rutgers product, Max Melton?
significant boom here, man. When you talk about a guy that has the mirror and match skills of Melton, the ability to play the ball through the receiver's hands, and also the ability to turn the ball over when it comes his way, this is someone that's going to take a significant step forward. And when you think about them bringing him in last year and coming from that Rutgers program under Greg Schiano and how well he played in the Senior Bowl, and then couple that with a great combine and what he did getting better each and every week as a rookie, the sky's the limit for him. And I think he takes that next step forward and leads that secondary from his spot.
All right, Emery, thank you. The Chargers are the first team to open training camp July 16th. We're not that far off, man. Enjoy. Always great catching up with you. The off-season, in-season, HQ is the place to stay up on everything happening in the NFL.
When you need your sports news all the time,
We've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights
What a finish at the final round of play.
and in-depth analysis.
Can they throw?
Chào tất cả mọi người, hôm nay trở lại với kênh của mình. Thôi từ đây.
Rút ra rút lại cái dây mà.
Không phải cho ở như đồ ăn chín à. Còn nói là bây giờ mình sẽ tiếp tục nốt phần này để ngắn qua nha.
Nè, để cho Long xem có cái bé nào hay ở video hay là cái ở đây là cái này có hay nào. Em muốn thấy bạn 24. 24.
Em chỉ mua đôi này 38 gì.
Hay
Rẻ thế. Mua chút đồ ăn của anh rẻ quá. Cô anh đi nào được chân mẹ anh. Có anh chân to bằng chân. Có anh chân nhỏ chân to á.
chân to.
Chân to à. Con chân to à.
Chân khủng long.
Có anh chân to hơn con.
Ôi sao con này vừa đấy.
Thế mẹ để ta
Mẹ đâu có. Con cả xương này đâu. Các bạn không nào chị rồi. Để mà nè. Dây để mấy này đâu. Có chứ. Sao mà bỏ? Ô, cái loa này nó bên nào đi nhảy trong đây nhỉ?